Hi, my name is Mags and I'm here with Cara and Amy and we're part of the youth media team. Today we're at interviewing Pam O'Brien.
Tell us a bit about the ICT and Education Conference.
So the ICT and Education Conference is a conference for teachers who are interested in integrating technology into their teaching and learning for their students. It's an opportunity for them to, I suppose, get together, share ideas, talk about what works in their classroom, learn from each other. And it brings together people from primary, secondary and third level. So I suppose, a lot of conferences are very directed towards either primary or secondary or third level. But this one and the assessment conference, I suppose, are the two really that bring everyone together. And I think it's important that we do bring educators together across all levels because, a child goes into primary school at 4 and comes out of third level in their 20s probably or later, depending on, whether they came back to education. But they don't change as the person they are during that time or the way that we need to deal with them. And yet the 3 different levels deal with students very differently. And I think it's important that we get that message across and that we, primary are talking to secondary and secondary are talking to third level and that we all know what's happening in the other levels. So for me, that's the important thing.
Okay, Pam, you describe yourself as a lecturer, an organiser and a mentor on your Twitter profile. And we know because we checked. Of those 3, would you have a favourite role? And if so, can you tell us a little bit about the reasons?
That's an important question. And actually they're all intertwined because I don't see them as different. I see even in my lecturing, I would see some of my job as being mentoring students as well. And particularly when you get, up along the years and supervising final year projects, you're more a mentor at that point in time. So mentoring comes in. I suppose if I'm really pushed, mentoring comes into all of it because you're mentoring students in your lecturing role. As an organiser of an event, you're kind of mentoring others to, come together and talk about things. And I love mentoring YMT, I love mentoring at Coder Dojo. So really, I suppose the mentoring is the one that comes all the way through it. But I think the organising is important as well because it is important to have events like this and it is important to bring together people, as I mentioned in my previous answer. It is important to have those events where people can come together and talk to each other. But yeah, I suppose the mentoring is probably the most important one.
As well as today's conference, there was a Maker Meet last night. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, the Maker Meet, I suppose, for me it's synonymous with ICT and education. I couldn't have one without the other, really. And it came from, was it 2014, Max, when we had our first Maker Meet. So we've always had a pre-conference teach meet, but we spun it into a Maker Meet, and that was purely down to Bianca Nigrogon. She runs through everything I do, every whole thing I do. It comes back to Bianca and her focus on students. The reason you're here, the reason the student showcase is here, the Rang Bianca session of ICT and education is all because of that. And it's really just about that idea of making things practical and maker focused. Bianca did that all the time, and now Chris and Haas are involved, and Mags has been involved over the years as well. So it's become what it's become because of where it started, and it's all about just getting hands on, using the projects to drive the learning rather than having the learning and the projects are tacked on at the end. So for me, that's what it's about. And just, I suppose, again, last night there was, primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, there was third level, there was kids, and everyone was just learning together. And actually, when we started off last night, at kind of 7:15, we were kicking off at 7, and it did. But I officially kicked it off at 7:15. But I had to stop people talking because they were talking and sharing and like even, some people came, hadn't intended presenting anything and, got cardboard and duct tape and was, fixing something up at the back and by the end demonstrated that. And that for me is what it's about. It's actually about taking something you want to achieve and making it. And we need more of that in our schools. We need that creativity. We need to just give you cardboard and say, make something. Show me what you can make from that. It's not always about the technology, and I think a lot of people are put off by the fact that the ICT and Education Conference is about technology, and absolutely it is. But it's also about what have you got, how can you use it? A little bit of technology can go a very, very, very long way. The technology in Will Knott's Fresnel lens last night was literally the mobile phone to illuminate the face. That's the only technology, and that's the only reason it was there. So it wasn't about the technology as such, but it was. So the technology was aiding, and that's what it should be about. That's what technology should not be front and centre. Technology should be the base plate that everything builds on, in my view.
Thank you.